Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're zooming in on something that seems, super simple on the surface.
Right.
But for anyone learning a new language, it can honestly feel like walking into a social minefield. We are talking about making
The
plans.
setting up a coffee,
All
right?
right.
Or trying to get dinner with a friend.
Exactly, casual hangouts. And the reason it's tricky is because the textbook English we all learn can backfire, making you sound, well, stiff and awkward.
It really does. I mean, the grammar is usually pretty straightforward. You know your days of the week. You know the verb to meet.
Sure.
But when you use those textbook structures in a real casual setting, the whole vibe just kind of collapses. The
Yeah.
conversation feels formal. Too formal.
I know exactly what you mean. You send this perfectly constructed sentence, and instead of a friendly invitation, it lands like an official summons from HR.
Yeah, exactly.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to give you that shortcut. We want to show you the specific, nuanced way native speakers make plans smoothly, naturally, and this is the most important part, without pressure.
We want to help you shift your whole mindset, really. The big takeaway here is that making plans in natural English isn't about scheduling. It's more of a social ritual. It's all about comfort and the right vibe.
Okay, let's start there with that problem, the textbook trap. I think we've all seen the classic phrases that language learners tend to lean on.
Oh, for sure. They're always hyper-specific and way too direct. The number one example has to be, would you like to meet with me this Saturday at 3 p.m.?
Okay, I have to stop you. If a friend sent me that, I would immediately text back, "Are you okay?"
Right?
I think they were either super stressed or about to ask me for a huge unpleasant favor.
And that's the thing. Grammatically, that sentence is 100% correct. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But socially, it just communicates this rigidity.
Yeah, it's not an invitation, it's a commitment test.
It is. And the whole goal for a native speaker making casual plans is the opposite. It's flexibility. You want the whole thing to feel light. It's for fun, not an obligation.
That distinction is everything, isn't it? Low stakes versus an obligation. Because if I come at you with Saturday at 3 p.m., I've put you on the spot.
You have.
You either have to agree to my rigid time, or you have to say no to this very specific, firm proposal, which kind of feels like you're rejecting me.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's the pressure we want to get rid of. Which brings us to, I think, the most critical shift in strategy. The biggest difference between textbook and natural planning is this. You almost never start by proposing a specific time.
Never. Okay, so you're saying we need to check the temperature of the water first.
Exactly. You do a general availability check.
Mm-hmm.
It's a soft opening that makes it really easy for the other person to say yes or no to the whole idea without getting bogged down in details.
So instead of asking, "Are you free at 3 p.m., you're really asking, "Are you interested in meeting up at all this week?"
That's the core of it. You check for that general availability first, and only then do you start working out the details. It changes everything.
So instead of pinning someone down, we can just open the door with something like, "Are you free this weekend?"
Oh, yep. Or what are you doing later? Or the big one, the classic that drives so much of this.
Oh, I know this one.
Do you want to grab coffee sometime?
Sometime. Okay, let's talk about that word. Because as a learner, sometime sounds completely useless. It's so flaky.
I know. It sounds like it gives you zero information.
Right. How do we know if that's a real invitation or just, something people say?
That is such a good question because it gets right to the heart of this social ritual. Sometime is actually a really high-value word. It does two things at once.
Okay.
First, it removes all the immediate pressure to check your calendar. And second, it allows both people to save face.
Okay. So I don't get rejected on a specific time and they don't have to commit right away.
Exactly. If they're actually interested, they'll respond with their own availability check like, yeah, I'd love to. What days are you thinking? And if they're not, they can just say, yeah, definitely sometime. And the topic gets dropped. No awkwardness.
Wow. So sometime is like a low-risk probe. You're measuring interest before you invest any mental energy into the logistics.
Precisely. It's brilliant. Now, a slightly more advanced but amazing option is what I call the soft specific opener.
Okay.
Something like, any chance you're free on Friday?
I love any chance. That phrase right there does so much work. It immediately softens the whole thing.
It does, doesn't it?
It makes it incredibly easy to say no because it implies, hey, I know you're probably busy, but I'm just checking. The demand is gone.
And even if Friday doesn't work, the invitation is still a success because you've established that there is mutual interest. So once you get that confirmation, like, yeah, Friday afternoon works for me, then we can move to the next step.
Which is suggesting the actual plan.
Right. And just like the opening, this part cannot sound like a command. This is where we need those crucial softener words.
The words that signal flexibility.
Yep, they're like the linguistic equivalent of a shrug. Words like maybe, around, how about. They're just so important.
So instead of we must grab lunch, it's maybe we could grab lunch.
Yes. That one word, maybe, just changes the entire atmosphere. It makes the idea instantly negotiable. You're just throwing an idea out there.
Yeah, you're not setting an agenda. So other examples would be like, how about meeting after work? Or want to hang out on Sunday? The whole tone is just breezy.
It is. And this is especially important when you finally get to the specific time. I think learners often just want to be clear and efficient, so they go for the most direct sentence.
And that's where we get that classic mistake. Let's meet at 6, which is clear, it's unambiguous.
And it sounds like you're a drill sergeant.
Right. Really does. It sounds like an order.
Because you've committed both people without asking for any input. Instead, we have to use those flexibility markers. If you want to suggest 6 o'clock, you say, maybe around 6.
So you've got 2 softeners in there. Maybe makes it tentative, and around makes the time approximate.
And that tiny little adjustment makes you sound so much more natural. It shows you're comfortable with a bit of compromise.
This really gets to the core of it, I think. Native English conversation often values implication and ease of rejection more than just pure efficiency.
For sure. That flexibility is a social tool. It shows respect for the other person's time.
And that flexibility doesn't just stop once you've suggested a time, right? It continues even when you're finalizing the details.
Absolutely. The negotiability has to stay high the whole way through.
So when someone suggests a time, say around 6, how do I confirm without sounding rigid myself?
You use confirming phrases that still feel easy, like, around 6 is good for me. Or, my personal favorite, I'm pretty flexible.
Oh, that's a good one.
That phrase is gold. It just tells the other person, don't stress about finding the perfect slot for me.
And I guess we apply the same logic to the location. Keep it broad.
Totally. Any place works for me, or somewhere near the station. It keeps the focus on getting together, not on the chore of planning.
This all leads to probably the most stressful moment for a learner, which is, what do you do when the time they suggested just doesn't work?
Yeah. The polite rejection.
You feel this pressure. You don't want to be rude, but you have to say no. I've heard from so many people that they just agree to a bad time to avoid the awkwardness.
We all have. And that's why you need a few go-to phrases for this. The key is to soften the no and immediately offer a path forward. You never, ever just say, no, I can't.
Okay, give us the concrete examples here. These are crucial.
The first one is a great way to kind of hedge. You say, that might be a bit tough.
I like that. You're not actually saying no, you're just saying the logistics are tricky.
Exactly. You're flagging a difficulty, not a hard rejection. Then you can follow it up with a small adjustment, like, can we do a little later?
Let's run a quick scenario.
Okay, scenario. A friend texts you, want to meet for coffee at 2 p.m. on Tuesday.
Okay.
The direct, anxiety-driven response might be, no, I cannot meet at 2 p.m. I have an appointment. It's too much info, and the no is just too harsh.
It kills the conversation right there.
It does. Now, the natural response would be something like, oh, 2 p.m. might be a bit tough. I have something else then. Could we do a little later, maybe around 4?
See, that completely changes the energy. You've shown you want to meet, you've respected their suggestion, and you've already offered a solution.
And if the whole day is just a complete no-go, the best thing to do is bridge to an alternative. Like, I'm busy then, but what about Sunday? You always want to keep the invitation alive.
That kind of conversational give and take, that's a real sign of fluency, isn't it? You're treating the schedule like a fluid thing you can solve together.
Exactly. It's a collaborative puzzle, not a pass-fail test.
Okay, so after all that careful back and forth, you finally have a time and a place. The confirmation should then be what?
Short, friendly, and low pressure, just like how we started. There is zero need to go back to being formal.
Right, so avoid anything that sounds like, I hereby confirm our scheduled meeting.
Please. Just keep it simple.
Like what?
Quick social nods. Cool. See you then. Or just, sounds good.
Yeah.
You can also use, all right, let's do that. Or if you want to show a little excitement, looking forward to it.
Those little bursts of affirmation just neatly close the loop while keeping that relaxed vibe going. Okay, before we finish up, let's do a quick review of those major mistakes.
The two big ones are over-formality and over-directness. Basically, if it sounds like it belongs in a business email, you're probably on the wrong track.
Like that other example, Thank you for your kind invitation, which is lovely, but...
But you wouldn't say it to a friend asking you to grab a beer.
And the other big one is just a total lack of softeners, that we will meet at 5 p.m.
That sounds like a decree from on high. It leaves no room for anything.
So the goal is always to aim for that relaxed, approachable energy.
Exactly. Stick with things like, sounds good, or
Yeah.
that works for me, or maybe around 5. Just remember that flexibility and friendliness are basically the grammar rules for making plans.
This has been such a great breakdown. I think the main lesson is so clear. Success here isn't about perfect grammar or scheduling. It's about projecting a relaxed, natural tone. It's about flexibility.
Once you understand the why behind it, why we use sometime or why we say that might be a bit tough, it all clicks into place and your social interactions just start to feel so much easier.
So here's our challenge for you. This week, the very next time you're making plans, I want you to forget the textbook. Just try to use one new phrase from today.
Just one.
Maybe start with an opener, like any chance you're free on Saturday. Or, if you need to turn something down, try that polite softener. That might be a bit tough. Just see how much smoother the whole thing feels when you focus on comfort. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for the vibe.
Thanks for diving in with us.